All right, today we are jumping into a really mind-bending idea from a short but pretty powerful text by an author named Su Feng. The basic idea is this: everything we think is real, civilizations, our jobs, even our own lives, it's all temporary. But there's one thing that is truly eternal, and that one thing is the number zero. And according to the author, that's the real key to understanding the divine. Let's get into it. So the text just kicks right off with this quote. It's beautiful, but also kind of unsettling, right? Just think about that for a second. Everything you can see, everything you can touch and feel, it's all as temporary as a dream. And this isn't just some poetic line. This is the absolute foundation for the entire argument we're about to explore. This naturally leads to the biggest question of all, doesn't it? If everything we know is basically a fleeting illusion, is there anything out there that actually lasts forever? That's the core mystery we're going to try to unravel today. Okay, let's break down the first part of this argument, the idea that we live in a world of illusions. To really drive this point home, the author starts by showing us just how temporary everything in our world really is. This whole section is about dismantling our idea of permanence. What's really fascinating here is just how total this idea is. It's not just about physical objects. The author says even our laws, our regulations, they all fade away. The most powerful people in history, the emperors and saints, they're just like shooting stars. And the rest of us, well, we're like clouds in the sky, here for a moment and then just gone. So if everything we can see is just a passing shadow, that's a little bleak, huh? Where does that leave us? Where can we find something that actually sticks them out? Well, let's look at section 2, the constants of eternity. The author's answer is pretty cool. Real eternity, he says, isn't found in what we can see, but in what we can't. This chart here really captures that contrast perfectly. On one side, you have the things that feel so solid and permanent to us, right? Entire civilizations, powerful leaders, even our own lives. But on the other side, you've got these invisible forces that are actually permanent. The laws of physics, mathematical constants like pi, fundamental theorems. These principles, they are the true constants, the bedrock of reality. Okay, so we've established that there are these eternal laws out there. But the author, he takes it a step further. In section 3, we get to the absolute core of his argument, the magic of zero. He's going to introduce what he calls the most magical and fundamental concept of them all. So, after all this talk about complex physics and abstract math, what do you think the author considers the most magical thing in the entire universe? The answer is zero. Just zero. It's so simple, so stark, and probably not what you were expecting. But according to the author, this single number is the key to unlocking all the secrets of the universe. But why zero? What's the big deal? Well, because it's the ultimate paradox. It's both everything and nothing at the same time. The author sees it as the womb where creation begins and the tomb where it all ends. He argues that without zero, you can't have a universe, you can't have life. It's the silent, unchanging canvas that all of reality is painted on. Now, this is where the argument gets really, really interesting. Welcome to section 4, zero, the divine. He's not just talking about zero as a number or a mathematical concept anymore. He is elevating it to something much, much bigger. To really get this next leap, we need to understand a key term he uses, the cool and clear realm. He defines this as the zero realm, which he says is the essential state of God. In other words, the divine exists in a state of perfect zero. And that leads us to the author's most radical claim. Zero is God. This isn't a metaphor. He's not being poetic. He means it as a direct equation. The eternal, unchanging foundation of all existence. That, to him, is the definition of God. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? If you want to touch eternity, you have to merge with zero. By becoming one with this fundamental principle, you can go beyond this fleeting world of dreams and shadows and reach what the author calls the immortal isles, which sounds like a state of pure enlightenment. But the author doesn't just leave us with this huge, profound idea. For our final section, he actually issues a challenge to you. He ends this whole thing by turning a philosophical journey into a personal quest. And this is the question, isn't it? It's the one we're all thinking. If merging with zero is the path to enlightenment, well, how do you actually do it? And here's the author's final and, I think, brilliant answer. He doesn't tell you. He says, think for yourself. I've already led you to the door. He just leaves you there with that thought. It's such a powerful and provocative way to end, leaving us to think not just about the nature of reality, but about our own place in it. So, what do you think? Is zero the key to eternity? Well, that's a question only you can answer.